what's the right way to react to somebody who defends Hamas? What's the right way to handle people who support, seemingly, Tren de Aragua? What's the right way to react to people who think burning down a Tesla dealership is discourse? Let's ask the one and only Colonel Kurt Schlichter, who joins us back on the Mike Gallagher Show. It's been way too long, Kurt. How have you been?
Hi, Mike. Well, it's very early here in California, so I want to apologize for looking like I just rolled out of bed. But I just
got bedhead.
You got bedhead. This. On the plus side, I do have hair. So,
that's a slam, because you know about my bald spot. Thank you.
You look very distinguished. I may at some point just give up the whole thing and just look like I know.
Just let it go.
School, but
just go nuts. Hey, let me first of all, I want to pull the curtain back. Tracy reached out to you. I reached out to you. There was a column you wrote years ago, and that's why we're having a hard time getting our hands on it. But it became sort of my primer. It became my Bible. It became my mantra. It's about normals versus the bat crap crazy world of the left right these days. And you wrote this years ago. We couldn't get our hands on the column. I'm not sure you have either, but you've repeated that theme in the past. I'm telling you what, Kurt, that message is more true now than it's ever been. Can you comprehend the level of lunacy and insanity we're getting from Democrats who aren't happy with the way things are going?
Look, it doesn't make any sense to normal people. To us, it reads as crazy. To them, it is perfectly logical, because remember, what they're doing is attempting to create a bizarre Marxist utopia where they are in charge, so nothing matters. There's no objective facts. There's no guardrails. There's no norms. They're for whatever they're for at any given moment because they need to be for it.
Do you think there's any soul searching going on within, and I played this clip earlier, the 4 minutes of the Harpies on The View, all arguing about whether or not we should be arguing with each other as Democrats right now. It was the craziest thing. And the conclusion came from the sage Solomon of the panel, Whoopi, and Whoopi said, essentially, we got to take to the streets. We got to be loud. We got to make noise. It's the only way. And of course, people hear that and they say, all right, now I'm going to carve a swastika into the side of a Tesla because Whoopi told us to go out and let our voices be heard. Now, I don't want to make the same mistake that a lot of people made about Trump on January 6th. To be fair, she didn't say go commit acts of violence. But let's face it, there are a lot of people who are being incited by the Jasmine Crockett's and the Tim Waltzes and the Whoopi Goldbergs of the world. Do you think there's any soul searching going on over on their side of the aisle saying maybe we're going too far?
Well, I'm just trying to get my head around the concept of being the smartest person on the View.
That was sarcasm.
That's like being the best STD. I don't want a part of it. Look, you and I are, well, not to put too fine a point on it, old, and we remember the 80s, and we remember Ronald Reagan took over for Jimmy Carter, and that was a real crisis for the Democrats. And for 12 years, they were in the wilderness because normal Americans just didn't trust the Democrats. And then a guy named Bill Clinton came along, and he viewed things differently. He was like, well, I think criminals belong in jail, and I think people should work instead of getting welfare. And you know what? The normal people trusted liberal Democrats again after that.
Kurt, I played this clip from Ro Khanna last night. He sounded like a Republican, frankly. He said it's not. He goes, look, Tesla has thousands of American employees. Tesla's an American company. It's a good company. They're doing good things. Damaging and vandalizing and hurting Tesla isn't the answer. We got to come up with better solutions. And I thought if they had more Ro Khannas and less Jasmine Crockett's, they'd win elections again.
Well, look, the Democrats are eventually going to be a viable party again because they have to be at some point. But right now, they don't have the Ro Khannas because the desire to win has not exceeded the desire to act out like the spoiled children all Marxists are. When they start saying, we got to take to the streets, we got to be louder, we got to be meaner, that's a temper tantrum. That's not a strategy. That's not even a tactic. It's just
hold it. I'm gonna hold my breath until I turn blue. I'm gonna stomp my feet. I'm gonna stamp my feet, and I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna bay at the moon. That's not like you're right. It's not any kind of a strategy whatsoever. So if you're a talk show host, if you're doing this day after day, and you're a senior columnist at Townhall, you do a lot of shows, you guest host a lot, and you certainly know this space. But if day to day you had to navigate through these stories of Teslas being vandalized and these crazy protests, would you ignore it or would you showcase it to spotlight how crazy and unhinged a lot of people on the left have become? What do you think the right response is, Kurt?
Look, the right response is the planned response of the Trump administration, which is to highlight how crazy they are. Look, we keep hearing how Donald Trump, he's dumb, he's bad, he's an evil orange man. This guy has maneuvered you idiots into a kill zone. He is consistently outmaneuvering you so that you are taking the 20 part of the 80-20 issues. Okay? Mm-hmm. He's doing it again and again and again. And each time you look terrible. Look, we saw some of the media crowing yesterday. Donald Trump's approval ratings down to 49%. Man, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, Trump would have killed.
He was about 20, wasn't he? 25. That's right. I mean, and there's a brand new poll. And by the way, there's a new poll just came out within the hour. Approval for congressional Republicans is at an all-time high right now. I mean,
what is it,
47 or 49. But look, wow. Better than 20. Better than 20.
See, this is the power of working together. And look, I didn't have a lot of faith in Mike Johnson. I don't have a lot of faith in any politician. But the guy has twice put together majorities that no one thought he could get and got this stuff passed. And working with Trump, we're just scoring win after win. And I love that even when we get frustrated by some of the lawfare, and I've talked extensively about the lawfare, particularly online at Twitter. Follow me at Kurt Schlichter. There's the obligatory plug.
Shameless plug.
Exactly. Well, I'm a trial lawyer from Los Angeles. I had my shame gene surgically removed in law school 30 years ago. It is even when we're slowed in the courts, we're playing a long game there. We're going to not only win 90% of these cases, we're going to get precedent that's going to prevent this stuff from happening in the future, and it's happening early. Okay,
I have the same attitude about these court challenges. Let it play out. I don't get hysterical about it.
Yep.
There's going to be federal judges, Obama appointees, Democrat, Trump-hating judges.
Appointees.
Yep, and some Bush appointees. No kidding, John Roberts. We're talking to you. Look, there's going to be pushback from some of these judges. Okay, they're going to slow it down. We're 2 months into this thing. We got 4 years to go. We're talking, of course, with Kurt Schlichter, senior columnist at Townhall. And by the way, kudos to Katie Pavlich. Boy, did she get the hero's welcome at the White House press briefing yesterday. Wasn't that great?
How old are we now? When I started this with Andrew Breitbart back in 2009, I think she was like 16, and now she's like this beautiful woman. She's married. I think she's got a kid. She's of course Townhall. She's just delightful. It is so great to see so many of these young conservatives moving up and taking their place. Like J.D. Vance being the leader of them. I'm just so proud of these folks. And our country's in such good hands.
We're in great hands. We get look at big announcement this week in our company. Charlie Kirk is going to fill the big shoes of Dennis Prager for a couple of hours. Wow. 2 of the 3 hours are going to be the show is going to be handed over to Charlie Kirk, and Dennis is scheduled to come back June the 2nd. I think is the date for the third hour. Isn't that great? So, but here's Charlie Kirk. My goodness, he's a force in nature, and he's everywhere. Look, we are in good hands. We got a bunch of people a little bit younger than you and me. In fact, I think some of these guys, I've got socks older than them, and they're gonna carry the torch. Final question for you, Colonel Kurt. I can't take credit for this. It came from a texter from Washington State who got me thinking. They said, the Democrats loved Trump until he ran for president as a Republican. I started thinking about that.
Yeah.
Kurt, what do you think they'd be saying about Donald Trump today if he ran and won as a Democrat?
Well, they'd be loving him because, again,
right?
There's no objective reality for these guys. They'd be loving him, and it's not like they're part. It's not like
the space splashdown. Sorry to interrupt you, but the space splashdown. Oh my gosh, they'd be having fireworks displays all over America if President Trump, the Democrat, rescued the astronauts.
I'm surprised we haven't had a federal judge ban dolphins.
Retweeted something about Babylon Bee. They said now leftists are carving swastikas on the side of dolphins. Because of the dolphin pod outside of the. Tell me you saw Mark Kelly's astronaut brother on TV, on Fox of all places, suggesting that the astronauts were never stranded, and it would have been safer to keep them up there. Did you see that guy?
Yeah, I did see that, and it was like, when he's talking about astronaut stuff, that's just fine. Just kind of stay in your lane, Astro Boy.
Yeah, let's talk about the propulsion. Why don't you stay out of politics? Well, you always propel us to great thinking, and Kurt Schlichter, keep fighting the good fight. Check out his books. He's got so many great and incidentally, I got through the whole interview without even acknowledging that the room you're in looks like it's under rocket fire with the lights blinking and one light went out.
I just rebuilt the whole downstairs because it got flooded, and then my lights blinking. I'm like, where's my general contractor? And it's like, well, this is the best. But Mike, I am so happy to be back on with you because it's been so long.
It's been too long. Let's get you back, and let's get you back more often.
Yeah, let's get you back more often. You're like, hey, get me Schlichter. Well, get Schlichter more often because I love doing this. It's so much fun.
You got a deal. You got a deal.
I'll be a part of it.
Well, we appreciate you so very much. Keep fighting the good fight, Kurt. Great to see you again. Hang in there. See you soon. The great Kurt Schlichter, lawyer, author, commentator, townhall.com, joining us here on the Mike Gallagher Show.
For full shows, live and on demand, it's Salem News Channel.